I don't know if this run's going to go well, but at least I'm satisfied with ending after this one, probably. Ooh, look at all that money come in. It's probably one of the big eyeball depositories going kaboom, stuff like that. Okay. Now, earlier tonight, I'm just gonna switch chat around, or not chat around, switch my topic around, seeing as I've, I don't know, never really had much of a rant topic here. I'm probably not going to. But earlier tonight, chat was asking to do, like, an MMO, and, like, group up and have a guild and do raids and stuff like that. I was thinking about it. I guess I have been thinking about it over the course of the night. Ooh, what a shop. Fortuitous, to say the least. I also don't think I take much damage at all from this guy. Yeah, wow, I took 1 damage from that. Oh, probably because I contacted him. Or, like, I was inside of him. Oh, we have a bit of an, decision to be made here. I'm just going to accept whatever damage I can take, but it's not much, which is hella useful. So let's see if I can get turbo damage, turbo shot Mishka going. Oh, there we go. That's what we're looking for here. Unfortunately, a lot of money just went down the hole and stuff like that. Okay, there's an MMO suggestion from chat. But it wasn't really a suggestion so much as just like, pick an MMO and let's play it. Ooh, clump of moss. Nice. Arc. Do Arc. I don't know. I feel like Arc's going to just disappear in like a month or two. And people aren't even going to talk about it anymore. Let's get a bunch of resplendent vials. Alright, that should be a pretty good distribution. We actually could have bought all, just a bunch of resplendent vials from that one. That would have been tempting. But no, I don't know. I don't really have that much interest in games like Arc. Ooh, thank you, armor. We'd be in trouble otherwise. Okay. We would absolutely be in a lot of trouble left and right here. At least we've got the clump of moss and some other things to work out for us. Oh, we also have, I forgot about this. We also have lifesteal. Yes. Okay. Yeah, look at that health come back. Because the more you injure Mishka, the more she heals. Yes. Okay. But yeah, I don't know if Arc is going to be one that might stay. I mean, everybody says that about everything. Like, Rust was hot shit. What was it, last year? And before that it was DayZ, and then before that, actually there really wasn't much before DayZ. Hell, even Minecraft is going out of vogue. Every game has a trend, and it's kind of one of those where I feel like to a small degree that I've kind of missed it. I've kind of missed it with Ark, and really I just wasn't super interested. And also it's kind of one of those from like a YouTube perspective. There's a lot of nothing in survival games, and I'm not super keen on a lot of them. Like I know in MMOs you're just kind of running around hitting stuff, but it's kind of like constant activity. Whereas like there's nothing more disinteresting to me than running around mining or gathering resources, you know, chopping down trees, stuff like that. So, well, Ark seems like it would be kind of cool if you could just hop right into the action. Maybe if I had like a private server that I could adjust it, so it's just like, alright, basic resources, you have unlimited numbers of those. But I think that would kind of ruin some of the elements as well. But really, any game that you have to grind on for like ages just to be able to actually do anything interesting is usually kind of the point where I just kind of like, survive until the door opens. Great, I can't even tell where the door is. So this should be easy. I'll just go looking for the door, and by the time I find it, it'll probably be open. Do I have a black hole box? I don't have a single one. Would like to get one of those. Well, the door's already open. Easy enough. Okay, and now that we're fairly safe, now that we're, you know, ridiculous Mishka, let's scratch our nose, because, well, had to happen again. Of course. Oh, you are terrifying, but that's okay. Because I heal faster than you can damage me. Oh, I absolutely do. This is great. Wow. I'm healing like 45 health a tick. That is absurd. Okay. But, so I don't like any MMO. I mean, it's kind of one of those where it's like, it really depends on your definition of grinding. I did Spiral Knights for a while. Spiral Knights was fun, but after a certain point, it's just like, alright, you're gonna have to play this game for like 6 hours before you can even get an upgrade to your weapon. And it's just like, this doesn't seem super interesting to me. I would much rather play this to the extent that I can, and then give up at that point. Because I don't want... effectively, Spiral Knights forces you to pay money after a certain point to upgrade your equipment. In a very artificial feeling sense. And it's just like, you know what? I can go play other stuff and have just about as much fun at this point. I've gotten about all there is to get out of this game, and I don't want to bother with more. But like, as far as the MMOs go, it's like a lot of MMOs actually have gotten really good at having like an even leveling curve. It also depends on the MMO. Like, I actually really enjoy the original Guild Wars, though that, honestly, as far as I'm concerned, not really an MMO. It's about as much of an MMO as like Diablo 2 is, except for instead of having like a chat room lobby, you just have a there was a box over here. Instead of having a chat room lobby, you have a let's just dig down here, grab as much money as we can before the ceiling inevitably murders us. Okay, that's the extent of it. That's a lot of money, though, which I cannot complain about. Hello, sexy devil. Now, do we have extra jumps here? No, this is not the run with the extra jumps. Oh, that's expensive. Let's get one of them. They're hella useful in a lot of cases. Okay. Shadow made you play Diablo 2. It was awful. Aw, man. Diablo is fun. But so MMOs. So I guess let's actually talk about MMOs that I'm willing to play. It's been a pipe dream of myself's and Keith's to do the entirety of the Old Republic. And not really the raids so much. I mean, maybe we do raids and dungeons and stuff like that. But really, the Old Republic has like a really nice story system to it. So it's like, well, it's not exactly a super traditional MMO sense. I think it would be a lot of fun just because, hey, it's actually a story game. And it's fit for 4 players, which is exactly what we need. Because there's, what, 4 players on each side? I said it. Yep, a Diablo 2 hardcore run with a bunch of people. That is my idea, and that is my dream. That's probably going to be like some kind of insane Catterday thing. At some point, we need people that are actually willing to do it. Luckily, Diablo 2 is old enough, and there's open BattleNet, that we can actually, we don't have to worry about people having the game or not having the game. We can just pass that one out like candy, which is good. We just have to find interested parties that are willing to commit to it. Because it's pretty much going to be one of those where it's just like, alright, everybody groups up and goes until they die. And that's the extent of it. And, like, I'm actually kind of stoked about the idea, because it's like, hey, you know what? I could actually be the first one to be eliminated. And really just kind of spectate from there. Which wouldn't be a terrible idea, all things considered. I just like the idea of kind of... I need to think about... I need to think about YouTube in a more kind of... No, let's just get out of here. I want to get that money, but no such luck. I need to think about YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that more in kind of like a show setup. Torchlight. I actually have a half recorded playthrough of Torchlight. I have to get back to it at some point. At least I think I still have the footage. I hope I do. But Torchlight 2 is absolutely another one. Like, I would love to do hardcore races of every single game if in kind of the Diablo genre style, whatever. And like there are actually a number of other games that would probably work in that sense too. I think there's what, Victor Vran and the Helsing games as well. I think there are more now. Like the Diablo style is actually pretty popular to make clones of. It's just there are a number of them that aren't great. Oh, wasn't it like Grim Dawn is another one? I think so. Yeah. No, I do wish Torchlight 2 had slightly better character development. I wish it had more customization, because the first one had amazing character customization, even if it was a bit shallow at times. But it still gave you a lot of options, and you could really do whatever you wanted. Torchlight 2 did not feel as much, but oh well, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, the Diablo hardcore thing is actually really high on my list, in terms of like getting people together for it. It's just a matter of like, I really need to sit down at some point, take a look at my collaborators that I usually work with and be like, alright, are you guys even viable, or should I actually go find some new people? Because I think at this point I should start looking into recruiting. Oh, Jin's Zephyr Horn, got it! Alright. Well, that's it for the level and stuff like that. Path of Exile has the best character customization in an action RPG ever. Yeah, it's pretty close. I think my only problem with Path of Exile is all of the perks are just passives. But I guess that's less of a problem for me and more of a problem for other people. I guess there are a couple other things here and there, but if you really like min-maxing, it is damn good. And it does have a lot of cool passives along the way. I guess there are some, like, there are a number of, like, modifications you can do to abilities as well. But still, I think there could be kind of more. Not much more, though. Like, it is damn fine. I actually would prefer, of all of the games, I prefer Torchlight 2's art style, because it's gorgeous. Followed by, Path of Exile's everything else. Because, like, Torchlight 2... gorgeous. It's got that, like, hand-painted 3D style that I really like. But that's about it. And, like, the environments and stuff. It had more activities that I liked, too. Path of Exile, I think, felt just a little bit too randomly generated for my taste in certain points like that. But there were some, like, really interesting things in Torchlight that I really enjoyed. I should also play Forced at some point. I heard Forced was good. And more money shot. I can deal with more money shot. Okay. Looks like the gate's opening over there. Not so bad. Skyrim has good character customization. I don't think so, personally. I don't think Skyrim or Fallout do. I mean, if you're talking about, like, just in terms of, like, facial stuff, sure. But RPG-wise, no. It's very shallow. There's not a whole lot of minimaxing you can do. You're effectively just a dude with a sword with a couple of available traits. Oh. Come on, do not deny me this. Thank you. Okay. Like, I think the one thing about the Skyrim games that you can customize are, like, traits here and there. Maybe if we're talking with people. I don't know, I've never played Skyrim. Apart from, like, 10 minutes to make the ugliest orc I could possibly make, and they'd be like, alright, I have no real interest in this right now. And then I never got back into it. I assume it would be a fun thing to play at some point. It's just massive time sink, and I'd rather play a Fallout game. Because the Fallout universe is generally more interesting to me. I don't know. I think there's also a mod that, oh, you know what? I think there's a mod that actually changes the combat style in Skyrim over to something a little bit more Dark Souls-y. That I could get behind. That would actually be a lot of fun. Let's not fall through the floor. Not a good time for it. Yeah, this is going to be another multi-part episode where WandaBot is about to give up and then finally has a good run. And then it's just like, well, this is life. Oh well. I don't know. I guess I always preferred kind of more of the Fable style of RPG to the Oblivion, Skyrim, Morrowind. I think part of the other problem is I liked Morrowind a little bit better than any of the other Elder Scrolls games, just because it felt very, it felt like it was still kind of cartoony before it started getting, like, super dark and, like, gloomy. Even though, like, I want to say Morrowind was actually the most fucked up out of all of them. Just because you had a lot of people addicted to drugs. Prostitutes. Did any of the other ones have prostitutes? I can't think of any, but then again, I wasn't paying too much attention. I played Morrowind when I was in middle school, so, I mean, the whole prostitute thing was kind of just like in the back of my mind. Stuff like that. A lot of the things in the games lack weight. Yeah. I can't really put my finger on it apart from just, like, I enjoy playing them. I think the worlds are very well designed and kind of interesting. We're getting hammered here. I guess I just don't have find myself having a whole heck of a lot of fun in them. I think that's the main issue. Okay. Oh, there were no whores in Morrowind. I swear there were whores in Morrowind. I could be wrong. Like, you couldn't do anything with them, but there was definitely a point where I had to go collect money from a whore as a result of, I want to say it was the Thieves Guild that made you go talk to a whore at the very least. Yeah. No, there absolutely was a whore's den in Morrowind. Unless I'm totally wrong. It is possible. My memory is a little bit spotty at times. Getting hammered takes no damage. I was getting hammered. I just picked up a lot of health left and right there. All right, where's the... Oh, hey, there's the exit. I already found it. Nice. Now here's the question. Do we spend our money on anything? You know what? I got a lot of money here. And I'm going to have more. How much Resplendent Vials do I have? I got 4. I think part of it is also we just haven't been finding a whole lot of shops with useful stuff here. I can get my hands on a black hole box. Not more black hole boxes, a black hole box. That'd be nice. Okay. Waterbat has whores on his mind. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Actually, when I was in, Nope, that didn't work. I was trying to leave. I was trying to buy one harp and then leave, but no. Actually, when I was in high school, I belonged to the debate club. And for whatever reason, the debate club had a huge population of the wrestler. Like, there were a lot of wrestlers on the debate club for some mysterious reason. And one of them was, like, very, very passionate about making sure all of his friends weren't virgins. So he, like, was very pushy about buying me a hooker at some point. And I was just like, I appreciate you looking out for me. I also have no interest in getting a hooker for myself. Thank you very much. And that was pretty much the extent of it. But he was very pushy about getting me a hooker at some point. I was just like, no, I'm good. I'm good. And then he put me a headlock, and then we went off to watch the Blade movies. I knew interesting people, I guess. I was actually fairly good at counter wrestling, but then again, when somebody keeps putting you in headlocks, you get pretty good at being like, nope, let's get out of this. The story had everything. I don't know. Short stories. Okay. Let's see. We've actually got Scattershot on this gun on adventure mode. This is actually going well. We haven't found the hero sword yet, surprisingly enough. I was expecting to at least have like 4 of them by this point, considering the past couple runs. No such luck, though, which actually is kind of interesting. Okay, let's see. If I can't find players for Diablo 2, will I grab followers? Probably not. How many debates ended in wrestling? Never... It was never the debates that ended in wrestling. Oh, wait, no. There was one debate that ended in wrestling. So there was the captain and the vice captain of the wrestling team. And I think this is part of the reason why the wrestling team had such a high following, because, you know, the main 2 guys on the wrestling team for multiple years were on the debate team, so they all kind of came over. Hookers, debate, and wrestling. I get around, I guess? Okay, but so, the guy that kept putting me in the headlock was the vice captain. And the captain would do the same thing. I couldn't escape from. Dude was very rough. Did not like wrestling with him at all. So I usually would hang out with the other guy because they'd start wrestling each other. So they almost never debated each other, mainly because neither of them were particularly... I mean, they were bright dudes, but they weren't like the extreme, extreme debaters that some of the other people were. And they kind of respected that. They're mostly there for entertainment, because a lot of the debates were interesting and fun. But one day they decided they were going to do an organized debate. And the point of an organized debate is you show up prior research and everything. And they were going to debate each other. They show up in their wrestling uniforms because they went straight from wrestling practice to debate club. This was not unusual. They then proceeded to take masking tape, tape out a ring in the center of the debate club floor, and start wrestling each other and debating at the exact same time. It was glorious. For the life of me... Oh, this is the Christmas debate. So every year there's kind of an infamous joke debate. And some years it was good, some years it was just boring and shitty because everybody had already used up all of the jokes. But there was an infamous debate of whether or not Santa Claus would exist. My favorite was when I was a freshman year, and they actually hired one of those mall Santas. Somebody went out of their way to hire a mall Santa to run in and be like super indignant about not existing, and gave him note cards and shit. That was glorious. That only happened once though. But so this was the Christmas debate. So these guys show up in their wrestling leotards. I guess are they called leotards? Unitards? I don't even know. Oh, see ya, Paul the Meatball. Have a good one. Have fun at work. Okay, but so they show up in their unitards. I think they're unitards. I don't know, whatever. I never actually was part of the wrestling team because I did not want somebody telling me how to eat. I liked food. And it sounded like wrestlers really did not get much of a choice in the matter. Okay, but so they show up in their unitards and they're like, alright, we're probably going to take up, maybe only 5 minutes of the debate, so we need some backups. And, people brought note cards and whatever. Okay, but so they show up, they start taping off a ring. And then they start wrestling while debating. And, I mean, it's very obvious that they're play wrestling instead of, like, seriously wrestling. At least at first. And so, they're kind of just going through the motions. And it's funny and adorable, whatever. And then at one point, like, one guy gets out of the ring. And then you kind of notice... the vice captain puts the actual... Oh, shit. That was expensive. Whatever, I got plenty of money. The vice captain puts the actual captain out of the ring. And these two are very competitive when they actually get into it. So, ooh, hello. That's useful right now. So I think the captain got pissed off, and I think the vice captain was a little bit rough when he kicked the captain out. Captain gets serious wrestling-wise, so all of a sudden you have one guy, the pro-Santa guy, effectively trying to give his spiel while being put into a chokehold, so you can tell that the captain was getting, like, rougher and rougher. Because what they were originally trying to do is, like, anytime any of them would make a good rebuttal, they would get the upper hand in the wrestling. At this point, it actually just switched over to just flat-out wrestling, and so it's very hard to hear about the, about elf civil rights or something like that. Well, it's very hard to talk about elf civil rights in a chokehold that keeps getting tighter and tighter as you talk. So eventually they just started wrestling, and the two backup debaters just decided to stand next to them and keep giving their points. So for the next, like, 10 minutes, we just had Santa wrestling, or Santa debate with the sideshow of wrestling. It was great. I really enjoyed that, and we all had Christmas cookies and baked goods and whatnot, and I don't know, it was fun. Unfortunately, this was like the last year that the debate club was good, because everybody got pissed at the leadership and left. But the first 2 years were glorious. Stupid, probably extremely dangerous, like they totally shouldn't have been doing that without some kind of referee nearby, but nobody was going to stop them. This is also like 6 o'clock on a Friday, right before Christmas break. So it was just kind of like, alright, do whatever you want. Teachers aren't around. Hence how we could even get a mall Santa into the place. There really isn't that much to tell about the mall Santa thing, unfortunately. It's kind of like, it's an oddity you can talk about, but it's not an oddity that is like... It's kind of like you can talk about the wrestling thing, because here it is, but the mall Santa one was just like towards the tail end of the debate, and it was kind of obviously pre-planned on both sides, but the mall Santa just like comes charging into the room huffing and puffing and yelling about like not existing or whatever, and then he proceeded to just like scarf down a bunch of cookies and then leave after about 10 minutes, which honestly was totally fine by me. It was just like somebody actually went out of their way to pay a mall Santa. Or just knew somebody that was a mall Santa. I didn't think about it too hard. Hello. This is acceptable to me if I can get back up here. Oh, not this direction, apparently. Let's see if I can get over. Damn it. Fucking... There we go. And there's a bug on the back of my neck. This is not on my list of a pre... I don't even know what that was. Alright, hold on. I am back. Did not really need to mute the microphone, just like, ugh. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, right, I'm here. Let's buy all of... I do not have enough money for this, do I? Well, this is unfortunate. I was really hoping I could buy a bunch of drill upgrades here. Fortunately, I don't have the cash. And pretty much once I get down here, yep, we're going to get the cash. We're just not going to be able to get back up, and the shop's going to be gone by this point. I actually really wish the shops would always spawn on the bottom. No such luck, though. Wander Assassin, yeah. It was some kind of, like, flying bug hit the back of my neck, crawled to the front of my neck, and then proceeded to, freak out there. I slap it, and then just bada bing, bada boom, here we are. Do I have any wind leaves? I don't, but I do have, drill upgrades, which makes my lateral movement, well, in the air faster. Good. Okay. What? Okay, so according to Birdcatcher, a bunch of hippies blocked the path to work today to protest Amazon and gentrification? What? I don't... What? I don't even know. Fascinating, to say the least. Oh, man. Another story time. Completely different time, completely different place. I used to work for a hospital. I was a medical illustrator / web designer. And the hospital is one of those hospitals where it's like, it's kind of one part hospital, one part research lab. I keep taking random damage here for no good reason. Totally my fault. Okay, but so, I'm getting little bits of health from this thing every single time it rolls around. Okay, perfect. But so I worked at a hospital, and that thing is still going, isn't it? Yep, there it is. Don't knock me down. Please let me go. Thank you. I'm still not able to go down there. Perfect. Let's destroy the level while we're here. Okay. But so I worked at the hospital, and this is one of those hospitals, has a research station. Okay. And so, of course, when you're doing medical research, usually what you do is you use animals. So my lab, and I think contractually I'm still obligated to not talk about this, but who gives a darn? Also, I don't think anybody's going to be able to connect the laboratory I was working at with the, with me, period. And also nobody gives a shit, I think. But so we actually, I think it was like, I don't know if it was capuchin or something like that, but it was one of those like very similar to human types of monkeys, and we were studying OCD in monkeys. And it was actually really fascinating stuff, and my entire job was scanning brain slides and tracing them and stuff like that. I didn't do too much of that. I did more on the 3D animation side of things. But so the lab did brain slices of monkeys. They'd inject stuff in the monkeys when the monkeys were born, and then after a couple of years would slice up the monkey brains, which is kind of unfortunate. Kind of really depends on your opinion on animal rights, but it seemed sort of humane enough. I didn't know what their lifespan was, but I'm assuming it was one of the shorter kinds. Could be wrong. Either way, so animal rights people knew that there were animals being harmed in this laboratory. So one day, I'm biking to work, because I'd always bike to work, because gas is expensive, and I don't have a car. So I was biking to work, and the bike path is just covered in people. Alright, fine, I'll go around, take the street in. The street is covered with people. Apparently, I don't remember what humane society... It wasn't a humane society, it was like effectively crazy PETA people. Crazy PETA people run in. And no, these are not people that are interested in the you know, bread snack or Greek food or anything like that. You know, these are the crazy people that are like, all animals are sacred and must be treated perfectly and stuff. Which is like, alright, you know, I can respect your opinions, but effectively what they were doing was yelling at anybody that that was trying to go to work or to the hospital. So, I mean, for me, this isn't really that big of a deal. I just walked right in. But, you know, anybody trying to drive to work was stuck. And, like, cops were called, and cops were there, and cops were yelling, and everybody was yelling, and it was dumb. I was just like, how, I didn't even know, like, this amount of people, like, existed, in any kind of area, around the city that I lived and worked in. So it was just like, this is news to me, and I think I found out afterwards that they were actually from, like, miles around, and this is, like, a common thing for, like, causes and stuff, that they would effectively import people because they didn't have enough locally, and this is like a problem with political rallies and all sorts of other things. But so the PETA people were just harassing people going in and stuff like that, and let's see, what did they do that was particularly annoying? And it wasn't anything major. It was just kind of like they just took up the entire walkway, and they were there for like the entire day. And like my boss came in, and she was just super pissed because of course they blocked her in. Because my boss was one of those ladies where she was like worldwide famous for her studies, and so like she came into work at like noon, if at all, and like she drove an expensive car or whatever, and effectively she was super pissed. Freaking nose. She was super pissed because not only could she not get to her special parking spot because there are just a bunch of these people standing around in it, but you know they just blocked her way in, and she couldn't go get her cappuccino in time for like her usual time. Which, I mean, listening to her complain about it is like the ultimate first world problem. And here I am making what, $12 an hour, and she's talking about them blocking her Lexus, and I was just like, wow, you really need to pay your employees more. I was just an intern, so I was like, alright, $12 an hour, fine, reasonable. But I felt bad for my friend who had been there for like 3-4 years and was only making $1.50 more than me. Felt weird. Maybe she was making like $3 more than me, stuff like that. That was rough. But, you know, whatever. Animal rights, it was just interesting to see this amount of people that were passionate about monkeys, I guess. I don't think it was just monkeys. I think there was like some more crazy claims that were being thrown around left and right. But this wasn't terribly uncommon. A lot of people had actually... Oh, I remember the fun part about the story. Okay, so when you're organizing a protest, at a hospital and or medical laboratory, you probably are trying to yell at the people in charge, or the people that are in support of this. That said, this is a hospital, so you've got a lot of people going in and out. And so, oh right, I remember one of the interesting things that happened. I wasn't there for this one, but there was actually an, oh, come on. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that. Damn it. Well, this is unfortunate. Yep, no, not going to be able to get it. Let's just go. Okay. Hey, cycle 2. Cool. Okay, so when organizing your protest, who are you going to try and yell at? Probably the people that are somehow supporting the medical laboratory. That said, people going to the hospital technically are supporting said medical laboratory. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to go yell at, you know, kids going in for checkups, but they were doing it. Alright, fine. Just trying to make a point. I guess, you know, if parents decide to go to a different hospital, fine. Holy crap, did they really increase the damage in here? I'm taking loads. But so, wow, I am McDonald'sing it up. I know I've only got 3. Oh, it's because my range, not my range, my melee attack speed is really high. But so, okay, yelling at parents, it feels wrong, especially with the little kids, because they don't know what the hell is going on. I mean, I guess yelling at kids is kind of a good idea, just because it's like, you know, kids are the ones most likely to make a fuss to their parents about, you know, the mean hospital doing terrible things to monkeys. So I guess it kind of makes sense. What didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, they would yell at the Amish. So this is one of those hospitals, I was kind of in like westernish New York. This is one of those hospitals that was fairly frequently frequented by the Amish, or Mennonites, I don't know. Effectively, you know, the country folk that don't generally have anything to do with technology or anything otherwise. And so I would frequently, you know, go on lunch break or something like that. These are expensive, but very necessary. Okay, I'd frequently go on lunch breaks and, you know, see a bunch of Amish people sitting around in the cafeteria eating. And I was actually kind of surprised, but I think they've got special rules for, like, when at hospitals and whatnot. Okay, yelling at kids is a good idea. I mean, I can see the logic of it, maybe, even though if it seems wildly unreasonable to me. Okay, but so, they would yell at the Amish. There's one point where the Amish would come in by train. They wouldn't try and make the trip via horse and buggy. But, so, at one point you see a bus pull up and a bunch of Amish people get off. At which point the PETA people surround the bus and start yelling at the Amish. And it's just like, are you serious here? They were serious. And I've never seen an Amish person look more offended in my life. Now, there are Amish, there are Mennonites, there are Quakers. I think Quakers were the most common in Minnesota, but I could be wrong. I think it was Quakers, unless Quakers are dead. I don't remember very well. But effectively, Amish or some kind of Amish variant. Very common in Minnesota, so I see them on occasion when I go and visit, because, I mean, it's farm country, where I'm from. Hello. That's big. PETA people actually dislike the Amish. I guess? They do use animals, so I guess there's that. So I guess the Amish hate PETA. Funny. Okay, but, or I guess I would assume the Amish would dislike PETA in response. But so, you know, I've never seen an Amish person mad, or angry, or upset, or anything like that. I saw an Amish man, you know, big, bushy beard, whole 9 yards, actually yelling back. Never seen that happen before. And honestly, probably never gonna see it happen again. But it was fascinating to watch, because it's just like, wow. You know, if you can piss off the Amish, you've done fucked up. No matter what you've done. And I assume, you know, that the dude was tired. Probably had a long train ride, because that's usually how they get there. Either that or a bus ride. And honestly, I don't like, okay, PETA's against owning animals outright. Fair enough. Oh, hello. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to that chest, wherever it is. Probably up in the ceiling somewhere. But there it is. Crap, yeah, I'm not going to be able to get it. It landed right in the most inconvenient place possible. Oh well, I will deal. Because I'd rather have books of secrets at this point. Because no way am I going to get enough money for it. At least they're starting to show up. Hopefully we get some more when I actually have money again. I had so much money. Then again, the prices of everything have skyrocketed. So there's that. But, no, I don't know. It was weird to watch, and I felt really bad. And it's kind of one of those, like, I'd love to help somehow, but you actually, like, as like a hospital employee, they actually had a training session on, like, how to deal with these people. And the answer is exactly how you deal with, like, trolls on the internet. You do not engage, you don't, in any way, shape, or form. Eye contact is actually the most important thing. You need to avoid eye contact at all costs. Because apparently their site is based off of acknowledgement, not movement or anything like that. So if you're not paying any attention to them, they sort of leave you alone, just because it's like you're obviously not even going to bother listening. Which is why they try and get in your face and stuff like that, to actually get you to focus on them. Holy crap, that was 117 damage? That was a lot of... Ooh, that was bad. Do not... Ah, crap, we're going to die very, very shortly unless I'm very careful. I'm not very careful! There's no level left! I've destroyed it all! Burn everything! Okay, I'm trying to think if there's any other particularly interesting pseudo-Amish stories. Oh, hey. Health. Yeah! Alright, that helps a little bit. Let's bugger this. Oh, that was a lot of damage still. Well, welcome back to shooting really freaking fast and stuff like that. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's any other, like, weird PETA stories that I can think of. Nope. There were also the... Oh, okay. Another story, people protesting, actually. So, another thing that the hospital did, because this hospital was kind of one of those where it's like, it did everything. Anywhere from, like, surgeries to just basic checkups to research. The other thing that they did, sort of, were abortions. Now, I'm not going to get into, like, the ethics one way or another, just because I don't want to start that debate. I just want to comment on the people that were against it. So, fun fact about this hospital, it did not have the abortion clinic there. In fact, it was, like, miles away, for obvious reasons. Usually you don't want them part of, like, an actual facility, because you don't want people going to the abortion clinic to really have contact with other people, which kind of makes the whole protesters thing kind of dirty, as far as I'm concerned. And I killed myself. Perfect. Well, let's finish the story. But so, no abortion clinic whatsoever. Nothing even remotely close. And, there were frequently anti-abortion, things at the hospital I worked at. And they weren't allowed to go inside. If you're a protester and you go inside the hospital, you can be arrested, I mean, effectively it's private property, so you can be arrested for a multitude of things, I think. But so you'd get not quite as big as that one PETA protest, but you get like a throng of about 10-15 people. And what they would do is, these people were like wildly ignorant. I was actually really surprised. But they would actually single out anybody that looks like they're probably going in for an abortion and yell at them. Or doctors, or employees. So me being, you know, just a white male, age, what, 20, 21 at this point? They just ignored me, so I stuck around to watch, because they were right next to the bike rack. And, like, at one point, not one of my coworkers, but one of the labs next to us, so I knew her. Not pregnant in the slightest, walks in, and they start yelling at her for, killing babies, and it's just like, well, okay. And I mean, that's the extent of the story. I was just so flabbergasted that they would have this tactic, because it didn't seem like it was smart in the slightest. But that's what they did. And I was very confused. Well, either way, let's go away from weird, semi-controversial topics, and I will see you guys on the next episode of Cavern Kings. Damn good run. Absolutely damn good run. So, yeah. See you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.